And good evening. Welcome back to another day with Scuba and the Rye.
Rye guy, right here, sitting side by side with the Scuba.
Welcome. Good to see you again. We survived.
It's good to see you too, my friend.
Yes.
Hi.
And you're having fun with that.
Well, you gotta play with the sound bites when you get them, and Victor is just one of those characters
You gotta
that
play with all of them.
You just gotta enjoy him. So, but yeah. So, how you been, Rye? What you been up to?
I've been good. It just actually it was a low key weekend of sorts.
Oh,
So,
really?
No plans going anywhere. Just general things that I usually do.
Okay.
Which is always I go to the park, run, play some Pokemon Go. Catching up on a lot of shows because I'm watching a lot of shows right now with the downtime, and got out there because it was decent weather. Cleaned my car.
Oh, really?
Clean the interior, clean the exterior. I do everything by hand, so no auto for me.
Okay.
So keep it clean, keep it fresh, keep that paint shining.
That works.
And a couple movies.
Couple movies. Really? What'd you do?
2 movies.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that, aren't we?
Yeah, one of them is. But other than that, this is the week. This is the week that building up on all my preparations for that GRE.
Oh, yes, that's right. GRE test is this week, so
Yeah.
got to get that going.
Oh yes, that will be Friday. I have the day off of work, so I don't have to think about anything except for the one test. I actually went right by the location where the testing site was before I came out here.
To make sure you knew how to get there?
It's right off Battlefield, so it's like right on the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right there behind Lowe's and Home
And
Depot.
what day is that again?
Friday.
This Friday?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So I was thinking I was going to prep a little bit more, but I've already went up and down that book. So it's like you can only run the practice test so much before you're just like, you know what?
Yeah, at some
Relax
point you just need to close the book, put it away, prepare the mind,
Yep.
and then just go with it.
It's like relax the mind, get enough rest, and just go.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty much all you can do.
yes.
So yeah, I have been, doing my usual daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of different things was, I spent Friday on the field helping out there. So that was a nice change of pace from my normal Friday routine. Last Thursday, though, was kind of special because Skittles had the 5th grade faculty student basketball game.
Oh, was she in the game?
She was one of the cheerleaders.
Okay.
The start of her cheerleading career. Oh, boy.
It's the beginning.
It is. I'm not sure I'm ready for this, but you know what? She's got tryouts in April for the middle school cheer squad. So hey, I'm just being good parent, being supportive. But no, the game was fun. Went out there. I took I took a GoPro with me to try and film it.
Yep.
And realized that I really do need a DSLR.
Hey, those are really amazing cameras.
They are. I've been really thinking I need to get one so I could do things, because it's either that or I needed, instead of taking the GoPro, should have grabbed my phone mount and put my iPhone on the charger to take care of that. But seeing how that is how that is. But no, the game was fun. My dad and my stepmom showed up, and then Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Top Shelf, who is in the JROTC program this semester,
Okay.
had a fundraiser breakfast, kind of like a little pancake breakfast Saturday morning. So we went out and did that, and then after we showed our support, but we were stupid early. I mean, seriously, we were the only ones in there for 30 minutes.
All the food
So-
to yourself.
Kind of feeling good on that. However, it was you know what? Had our plate. Everything was all right. Then proceeded to go over to the Waffle House before heading out to the field for the day. So yeah,
Double whammy.
yeah. I had definitely loaded up on quite a bit of carbs, but
Hey,
all that
yeah.
walking around the field,
It just burns it right off. So
it does. And Saturday was a partial day, and then came back home and did since it was the 5th weekend of the month, We did a WarTable game with
Okay.
Warhammer 40k minis. So I've got a battle report on that. And of course Sunday gameplay. This time though, I got a link to a video because they put together a video for the gameplay on Sunday, and it happens to be the attack and defend game, which I'll talk about from my perspective. And
The only perspective that
I
matters.
wouldn't say that.
It does, people.
It
Believe the hype. Believe the hype.
But yeah, so before we get too much further, I want to do a shout out to Syrinscape for the wonderful
Thank you.
background musics we got here, because you never know how much fun those are going to be. Because sometimes you just need a random cow. So that's not very loud.
There was a subtle move.
Subtle move. That works. But shout out to Syrinscape.
Shout out to you.
So also, as said last week, a lot of stuff has been updated, out. Latest episodes of the podcast are out on
Boom, boom,
YouTube,
boom, boom, boom.
on the YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, Podbean. If you want to just go directly to the host there, but the other places are good too. Got build videos going up on the YouTube channel. Did a gameplay video last night.
Yes.
As part of the new thing, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. And I think that's all the studio type announcements. Do you have any announcements?
I have not.
Oh. Yeah, actually, no, I just remembered one. The new Facebook page.
Oh,
Scuba
yes.
Studio on Facebook. That seems to be doing pretty well. We've gotten quite a bit of likes, but if you haven't been there yet, go check it out. Give a like, give a follow.
Share and like. Let everybody know.
Oh yes, definitely. And we got some tech upgrades in here, so we know it's that time of year, so we're getting a little bit better.
A little bit.
So I think with that, we'll go ahead and roll into our first segment of the night, which is movie reviews.
Get them reviews.
So stop there, go there. Alrighty. So, movie reviews. Right, what do you got for us this week?
We have 2 movies on deck.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Alright. Let's, kind of kick off with the first one. The Invisible Man.
The Man of Invisible Tastes.
I don't know. That guy was kind of
a bit stalkery, but he had the money to do it. So
just a bit.
hey, if you got that money, just roll with it. I guess just roll with it. With the optics, you'll get it. The pun if you see it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what's going on with this one?
Well, this is a remake of a classic, a classic monster film. All the monsters that Universal has, they have a list of them. So this is another one they just pulled out of the hat and was like, okay, let's remake it, modernize it a bit, and just see how it goes out there.
Yeah.
So the central story focuses on 2 characters: Cecilia Cass, who's played by Elizabeth Moss. If you know her, she's of A Handmaid's Tale, a few other things. And the movie starts out with her escaping abusive relationship with her ex, Adrian Griffin, played by Oliver Jackson Cohen.
Okay.
So from there, she believes that she's good to go until strange things begin to happen, because after presumed dead, she believes she's being stalked by her ex and has found a way to become invisible.
Yeah.
How the tides have turned.
Yeah, that's one of those. That was interesting. This is one that Ryan and I both went to go see Friday night.
The Scuba and a Ride review.
And I have to say I was actually kind of really happy with this film. This film was really good.
Yes, I after we go and watch a film, we always spend a few minutes talking about it, and this is Scuba can vouch for me because I said it when I walked out. It's like, this is a perfect example of how you do a remake. Not saying the movie was perfect, but just with a lot of remakes, they just try to be like, here's the story, let's put it in this medium, this reflection, this kind of different take. A good example, I enjoyed it, but it's a good example of a remake that's just kind of just a rehash, is The Lion King. It's
Yes.
beat by beat the same story, and it was just basically a showcase of the amazing visuals that they can do with it, which is fine. But when, in my eye, when you do a remake, you want to take the core elements of the story, but kind of change a little bit of other things to make it fresh.
Yes.
And this film does that with how the invisibility comes about, putting the main focus on the victim, and actually focuses on like raw, realistic themes, dealing with
definitely
abuse.
more modern things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the core principle is the core morality is there. It's like, it's one of those things that power corrupts, and
Yeah.
he had figured a way to make himself invisible, and it's a very nice twist on probably some of the more classic tellings of this.
I do enjoy that they changed that up too. That's another plus on this movie is
Yes.
by like, hey, let's not just do the same old shtick. Let's go ahead and
do something new.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it is, but when you
Yeah.
see it, it's pretty obvious what it is.
Yeah, and so anything about this that felt kind of lacking to you?
The only thing that was lacking is the fact that it is a very basic outline. It lays down a very simplistic stalker-like story outline. Like, you know, this guy is basically just stalking his ex, messing with her, doing things that he can because he's invisible, you know. And there's a lot of predictability in the introduction of all the characters. There's heavy foreshadowing. Like, literally, because it's very simple, you don't have to be smart to see the plot twist coming.
Oh, yeah.
They are pretty obvious what's going to happen.
And there's some good ones.
Oh, I mean, when it happens, that's where the irony kicks in. It's not that the fact that you might know what's coming. It's just the suspense of where is everything going to take place because he's invisible. You don't. But the subtle approach and the slow, methodical pace does help it. But at the same time, the simplistic nature of the outline does kind of bring down the excitement of what it could have been.
Yes.
Yes.
It's got some definitely good jump scares.
Oh yeah, there's just like
there's a couple moments where it's like, oh, and as we were talking, it has that pivotal point.
Yes.
It has that point in the story where he's like and we were talking about this, is like some movies, it's like, especially horror movies.
Yeah.
There's a point in the film where all of a sudden the villain is just nailing it, and then there's that point where the villain went just a little too far, and it's like a complete 180 in their success rate. I mean, it's just
what they would say, too big for his britches.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's just you push too far, and it's like that's a classic kind of trope. It's like you can only bend so much. Once you get your breaking point, that's where your character really starts to shine out. But you could definitely tell there was a few moments where it's like it kind of led up to it, and then once that pivot moment occurred, it was a great ride to see how it ended.
It's like the very slow, methodical build up, just the breaking down of Elizabeth Moss' character's psyche. You just see her just like falling victim to that abusiveness, and then when this point happens, instead of going down the typical victim of circumstance route, they flip it on you. They maneuver around that idea and build a redemption arc through the thriller elements, through the horror elements, through something that I picked up later, the film noir aspect, with her little trying to figure out things about what to do and how to get about it.
Yeah. So, all right. What are we going to call this one?
It's a very basic, simple story. If you've seen any kind, it's a mixed match of the lore with a stalker outline. So it's pretty much, kind of have a beat by beat what's going to happen. The strength of the film is within the characters, within the realistic themes, within a little bit of the changing of the Invisible Man lore, things that make it an amazing journey. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 full price. I think it is worth the full price of watching this in the theater.
Oh, I would have to agree. I was definitely a solid 3.5. Definitely.
I think it changed after that turn.
Yeah.
You seem to have you were And you made some comments like, "You go get him,"
Yeah, it's just like some point it's like yeah,
Yeah,
this is gonna come back to haunt you.
and it did.
And it did really well. So all right, so with that, what's our next film?
Next film, dabbling into the anime once more this year.
Well, it's early in the year, so what do we got here?
All right, so what we got here is a film based on a very big, popular shonen anime from Japan, My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising.
All right, so what's My Hero Academia? Because I got to be honest, I've heard about it, but I have not seen anything about it. I don't even know where I can find watching it.
You can watch it on the major streaming platforms for anime, Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Okay.
Mostly Crunchyroll, and it's simulcast. So what that means for you newbie folks out there, that means is that a new episode shoots out every week from Japan.
Okay.
So that's what simulcast means.
Oh, so it airs in Japan, and within a week it's airing.
No, it airs same day.
Same day.
So Saturday morning is evening there.
Okay, so if you want the dubbed version,
it's going to be a while wait, but so everything that's simulcast is subbed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So give me so what's this one about?
All right.
So obviously the success of the show has led to a feature-length film, which we've seen.
Second one. I never saw the first one. This is the second one.
Okay, so this is similar to like Naruto or Full Metal Alchemist or Inuyasha.
In the vein, because it's a shonen anime, which means it's a very long, methodical, there's a very long storyline with a lot of backstory, history, and stuff. But just to give you the quick 401, My Hero Academia focuses on this group of teenagers, or this world where everybody has quirks, basically superpowers. And it focuses on two main characters, Deku and Bakugo, and they're going to the school called UA High School, where you go to become a hero.
Okay.
A professional hero. Like, you got to get licensed, you got to go through classes and training, all the different stuff. So what this movie picks up is they take the Class 1A, which is the heroes course from UA High School, and they're sent to Naboo Island to perform temporary hero duties for the summer.
Okay.
So while they're there, they think a typical summer, simple task for the summer turns into an ultimate trial for the students. So now they are up against one of their greatest opponents yet up to this point. So they basically it's a hero's quest mixed in with the lore of the anime.
All right. So what were some of its strengths?
Some of its strengths is regardless if you're a diehard fan like me or a novice like you, they do a great job of engrossing detail without just ignoring the facts about there are people that don't know everything about it. So the general introduction in the beginning, which is the typical anime stuff, they introduce you to the characters, the setting, the recognizable conflicts through basic superhero tropes.
Okay.
So you get quick highlights of all the students. You understand their character, their characterization, their personalities, their interaction, and what they are faced up against with this villain known as Nine. That's the name of the villain. So he comes to this island for a specific reason, and the kids have to protect the residents on this island from this villain and also stop him from achieving his thing, because if he gets a hold of a certain quirk, it's going to lead to total destruction. It has to do with cell manipulation. But I'm not going to go too much into it. It might just throw everything off. But
no, yeah, we don't want to spoil it. But at least, can make it convincing to go.
But the strength is through that. The great thing about this movie, it showcases the strength of the series, where it's the relationships between the students in this class, understanding that they all have superpowers, but they're still flawed because they're still developing. They're still, because they're going to high school to learn to be a hero. So when they're faced against this ultimate threat, they're pushed to the extreme, and it fuels these like genuine moments that you don't typically find in, you know, a general comic book movie, not the great comic, but like general comic book movie where it's just hero versus villain, like you get genuine moments because they are struggling with how much of the power can they use without hurting themselves, hurting the people, but having to stop this threat.
Gotcha.
And on top of that, that general levity of the first half makes the action of the second half that much more awesome.
Okay.
So there is a that's pretty much it. So
So so what are we calling it?
it is fan or non-fan alike. This is one of the most amazing animes you would see on the big screen. It's very visually bombastic. There's genuine character moments. There's everything that everyone can get from it. You know, the fans that can recognize all the stuff that tie into the series, the non-fans that just like anime or like, you know, hero stuff, you're gonna be on the edge of your seat. You might even shed a tear because of certain moments that happen near the end.
Okay.
So overall, it was a great, amazing journey, and it gives genuine touch of character that you don't find in a lot of typical shonen anime. So 4 out of 5, full price. I definitely would recommend anyone that is a fan of anime watching this in theaters if they can, because it's only going to be their short time.
I'm gonna have to catch the show when it comes up so I can get some background on that.
Oh yeah, Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Always with the Crunchyroll.
It's either that or Adult Swim.
Fair. All right. So before we go too much further, now that we got the reviews out of the way, it's gonna check in got some movie and TV news.
Some movie and TV news. Boom.
Alrighty. So I got a few articles here, some movie stuff that, you know, interesting to us, if it's interesting to y'all.
You like it, people.
Let's
like
see.
gravy.
One of the first things is the Monster Hunter live action movie released a couple of posters.
Oh yes, IGN went ahead and put up the movie posters for the Tony Jaa Mila Jovovich led film, and they are highlighted in these two images that you can find on IGN.
Really?
Yes, and it looks like, just based on the images, that they are capturing the essence of the film, or essence of the game.
Okay, well, we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, but it is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, and you know he did all the Resident Evil films, did Mortal Kombat.
Which is probably why Maya Jovovich is the lead actress.
Yes, more than likely.
More than likely, we know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
The posters look pretty cool. I'm curious to see what the story will be, so let's check that out.
The game doesn't have too much of a story because it's just a looter style game.
It does, but it's more like you have to progress through.
Yeah.
But
grind.
Yeah,
you know what that means, gamers.
but you know it's nice because it's an open world adventure type thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you know can't really complain about that.
Mm-mm.
All right, speaking of rides and tribute whatnot, we have some info on the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
Oh yeah, this is reported as the longest James Bond movie ever, as reported on Collider. It is going to be 2 hours and 43 minutes, just a hair under 3.
Oh, really? That is pretty long for a Bond film.
But this is supposed to be the last Daniel Craig one, so
yes, this is the last time Daniel Craig is doing Bond.
So it's curious to just see not only, you know, the wrap up the adventure, but you know, the one thing that I liked about his series so far, there's been this overarching story that has been going on since Casino Royale. Regardless of how great all the movies were, there's still that linking of a story from beginning, middle, so there should be an end.
Which you didn't get that so much in the classic Bond films.
Yeah, they're always just one shot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a couple of them that have a continuing story, but this one it seems like Casino Royale was kind of that shift after the Pierce Brosnan age, and it seems like they rebooted the whole story of Bond and his interactions, because with Skyfall and with I can't remember the last one.
A Spectre.
Spectre. It was all of a sudden now we're bringing back villains who were introduced way in the early classic films. Like Blofeld, and rumor has it Dr. No, which is the first Bond film. So let's see how that one rolls out. All right, next one we got is, I guess, a schedule change.
Oh, a little one.
Yeah, a
But a
little
big
bit.
one indeed.
The Top Gun 2 has been moved up a couple of days. Instead of being a Friday release, it's a Wednesday release.
All right. Yep. As I reported on Screen Rant, they moved it up 2 days. They are really liking what they have here. So usually when you move something up, they're really excited and they're proud of their product. So definitely a plus for Tom Cruise again to see how he knocks it out of the park with this one, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, and if you guys are in the chat, I'm posting the links to these articles in the chat as we go through them, so y'all can see it as we talk about it. Or at least try to, anyway. So, our last bit of TV news is it looks like we have some directors who are going to be joining the list of distinguished individuals for Mandalorian Season 2.
Yes, directors, but they did update the article most recently.
Yes, they added another one.
So what it is the Screen Rant is reporting that James Mangold and Robert Rodriguez are supposed to be getting director parts. But the latest update in here is that Mangold, quote, has since clarified on Twitter that he is not involved with The Mandalorian Season 2, which is a little sad. But still, seeing Rodriguez in there,
right? Yeah, that'll be good to see.
Oh yeah. But it would have been nice to see what Mangold would do since he did the Logan and Ford versus Ferrari. So he's got a good idea on character. So it would have been interesting.
Yes,
if he
believe
did.
so.
But that's it. Film and TV news.
Film and TV.
So if there's any news out there you want us to talk about, shoot us out.
Shoot us articles. Compile the stuff over the last 7 days, and if it's really interesting and eye catching and kind of fits the tone of the show for that day, I'll keep it in there.
Any TV shows you want us to watch, I'll find time.
Alrighty. And I think with that, we're ready to move on to State of Game.
State of Game, people.
Alright.
Little bit highlighted of the crazy, but guns a-blazing.
It's all good. Alright, State of Game. So, State of Game is where we talk about the various games we're playing, whether they be tabletop, video game, airsoft. This is where we talk about the fun games and games. So, starting off, I think pretty much video game section is going to be rather short because we're both playing the same game.
And me double dipping like however you want to call it. But I
Definitely
have reasons
something.
why I have this game on 2 systems. But I am strictly right now playing Division 2 on both my PS4 and Xbox.
All right. So, what's going on with your run on Division 2? Because then we talk about mine.
All right. So, Division 2 on the PS4, I'm running with my two best friends, and we've been hitting up all the major points, leveling up, getting all the guns, doing all the things, but doing it in preparation for the expansion, which dropped this week, I believe.
Yes, it actually dropped. From my understanding, it dropped like yesterday.
Yep. So yeah,
it was a pretty hefty update.
Yeah. So there's a lot of running and gunning going on, and a lot of passed out on the couch kind of nights. But also, I'm playing on the Xbox with Scuba here.
Yeah, in fact, Monday night did a game stream, and played Division 2. Started that off with
updates.
With updates, and then had a little bit of time with Rye before he had to bounce.
Yep.
But another person I'd met playing hit me up, and we both played together for the rest of the time. Downside is the stream video does not have a lot of audio. It seems that has died away for some reason. So, yeah, I got a notification from Saladin while we were sitting there, and it's like, okay. So, not really sure what's going on with that.
We'll make it work. But so, how do you like playing Division 2?
I like it. It's definitely good. So many rabbit holes. So many rabbit holes.
Yes, that's the one thing that is definitely a great thing. Like for anybody that's played the first division,
Yeah.
know that there was a lot of things that fans demanded, and all those demands were put in this game.
Okay, because I thought it was. There's so many more things to kind of loot. There's the drop in, drop out to help to work with other agents without having to try to form a party or whatever. That's really nice. It's that distress call and aids to join you. And then if you work with another agent and progress through part of the story, that carries over to your side once you leave that particular group, which I felt was really nice. Downside is it made it very disconcerting because I have no idea what I'm doing as far as story progression. So I'm pretty much just going to be wandering around aimlessly and finding whatever rabbit hole I fall into next.
Watch out for them sewer holes. You can go down them.
Yeah, we did. We went into a subway area last night, and it was just kind of wild what was going on.
Was it another control point?
No, it wasn't a control point. It was something else, but it was just kind of one of those like, what is this?
Oh yeah, that's what happens, and especially the good thing is you'd be like, oh, what's this question mark? It could be something great or something you should not even be touching yet.
Yeah, so doing the weapon upgrades for that, but yeah, check out the VOD on that, and we'll get it up on the YouTube channel once I do some trimming on it, because I'm not sure everybody would like watch a 3-hour silence.
Oh wait. I did play another game.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. I did get in some time with Outer Worlds.
Ah.
I just remembered.
Outer Worlds is fun.
Oh, yes. Oh, my
I need to go back to that.
I almost didn't even get any sleep because I was, what you call falling down the rabbit hole. You can fall down the rabbit hole in that game, people. I'm telling you. Like, I hadn't played it. I hadn't played it in a few days and went back in. And I was like, oh, I know where I'm at. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And then 1 a.m. comes around. It's like, I do need to get up for work.
Yeah, I got to do that adulting thing in the morning, so hey, whatever. So yeah, a couple things real quick, backtracking on that. So that was our video games for that. And now to talk about some tabletop stuff.
Tabletop, people. Tabletop. Look at that.
Look at that. We're going to talk about, like I was saying to you earlier, the 5th weekend of the month. My friends and I get together and we do a WarTable game, because we're all trying to get into the miniatures and the war game. And my friends are really accommodating. They let me take photos of the game as we lay all the minis out and then as we progress through each turn. When we did this time, though, we had some questions about line of sight in this particular map that we had made. So I was actually using the camera on my phone to try and get idea for line of sight, and it turned out it made for some very nice photos of the miniatures as we go. This one right here is my friend is Penumbra's army, Necrons, and then
coming to get you, people.
Another buddy, Raz, he was running Space Wolves. I, of course, am running Dark Angels because that's all I have. And Penumbra's brother was running Chaos Marines. So he had these two maps of this like Imperium City, so we used those with some of the dungeon terrain I had made for Ruins of Thumbletree, and I've used that several times for other WarTable type things. So we kind of set up some streets and whatever, and I was predominantly vehicle driven, so I'm trying to do this thing with these with these Ravenwing bikers charging up down the road to check out the Necrons on the other side. But it was fun. Got to the point where it was kind of a stalemate, kind of like if we had gone another turn, if it was because it was getting late, possibly could have wound up losing because I lost like 2/3 of my army in one round. It was just, it was not good.
Sounds like a devastation.
Well, it wasn't bad because it was trying to learn these various tactics and whatever, and Penumbra let me use one of his Land Raiders, so I got to actually play with a tank for this. So there was that added some interesting combat elements. But so that was what was going on there. Some other stuff game wise is last week I did another thing for Build. And I got a little clip here where it's continuing to work on the mansion build. And this one, I scored all of the lower level and started building up the walls. After this particular build stream, I realized, you know what? I need to get a hot wire foam cutter. So I went on to Amazon and I got a hot wire foam cutter. So tomorrow night's build stream should make building a little more easier. And I realize as I'm going through this, I have to readjust wall placement to accommodate the miniatures. So stay tuned on that tomorrow or Wednesday nights to see how as we build through. Again, this is probably the largest thing I've built yet. So it's just kind of figuring out the problem solving as I go.
No, I can't wait to see what happens, what it looks like.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Nothing less than amazing.
All right, so that covers tabletop. That covers video games. That leaves
The pew-pews.
Airsoft.
The bullets go flying.
Alrighty, so it wasn't real. Like I said, I was doing Chrono on Saturday, so I don't have a whole lot from gameplay Saturday. Sunday, on the other hand, that's where the fun kind of kicks off, and I actually have the big thing for Sunday's highlight is the attack and defend game. And I'm going to post a link to a video that was posted up on the Balahack Facebook page. So you should totally check that out. And whatnot. So the attack and defend was set up like this. The attacking team started in the LZ. The defender started in the town. The attacking team, just like last week, had to take a dynamite with a thunder bee attached to it to the MiG and blow up the MiG. Then they had to have two people who were wearing blue helmets go to the halfback bunker to retrieve the alien from the protective dome. Only those guys in the helmets could go. Defenders had to stop them. Because if they did retrieve the alien, they had to get to the third floor of the tower, and then that was going to be the end of the game. So the attacking team had blue tape. The defenders had no tape. They sent me with the defenders and got them squared away, and then the game kicked off. Now, normally with attack and defend, most people like to go to the attacking side because they think the defending side is always going to lose. Now, last week, when they did this, the attacking team actually did really well. This week, the attacking team didn't even get to the first objective. They were stopped cold by the defenders. They had them. They couldn't get through. They couldn't get the explosive device to the MiG. They couldn't get the guys in the blue helmets to pass the town. It was just didn't go anywhere. So we went through, and it was great gameplay. It really was good gameplay. And we had all the variety of people out there. But the big thing is you got to check out that video that was posted on the Balak Facebook page for that particular game. It really kind of shows the wide variety of players and how much fun it is being up there. Video isn't playing too well in my OBS setup. Otherwise, I'd share it with you that way. But I have the link. It's the next best thing.
Check it out, people. It is a fun video. The variety is great.
The variety is good. Is good.
Good in the hood.
All right. So got another thing, and that's airsoft stuff, and it's a quick little topic thing to kind of discuss things, because as I'm learning things and realizing there's people who watch who don't know much about airsoft.
Like me.
One of the things that came up recently in the community discussion was discussing what DSG style guns, and I'm not sure I understood what that was specifically, so I went and I looked it up, and I got an article here from the Airsoft School, which is really cool, talking about AEG and DSG. AEGs is basically your General Electric motor gun. A DSG isn't much difference in that sense. However, the difference comes in one of the components within the selector. There's a selector gear within the motor. On a normal AEG, the gear will rotate and to cycle the trigger. With a DSG, the difference between the AEG and the DSG is the DSG actually has more teeth on that gear, so you get more times it goes per rotation.
So more coming out.
Yeah, it basically what it translates to is like when it comes to your trigger and you start pulling the trigger, it's like you increase the rate of fire on semi. Because some of those things, because there's a subsect of airsofting which people call speed soft, which that may not be entirely accurate, but it is a subset. And these guys, from what I've seen and what descriptions I've been given, is these are the guys who are all about how fast they can pull the trigger when they go. So it's all about how rapidly they could get BBs downrange. So that's where this DSG comes in. It's not illegal, because as long as you're keeping your rate of fire within the field regs. So you're gonna have to make sure you check with your local field as far on how that goes. But a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of info to kind of share.
Gives me a good distinct differences.
Yes, and that was something I was talking with Volgraza last week. Is like, the more you get into this, the more there's different subsets, and then there's different conversations from an engineering perspective, from a mechanics, from a customization. It really is wild. So, as I learn, and I'm always up for learning new things, so this was something I thought was kind of cool. Again, that article was from the Airsoft School, and it'll be in the show notes and everything as well. Okay. I think we're just kind of, it feels like we're rolling through. But
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about. We're getting through pretty fast. At a steady pace. About to take flight.
Speaking of flying, let's move on to some news pieces to end discussion.
Are we going to be landing somewhere?
Maybe. It depends on if you do it digitally or virtually or realistically, but apparently the latest version of the Microsoft Flight Simulator is about to release, and it's got a major buzz thing to it. So what do you think? What is it?
Oh yeah, as reported on GameBite.com, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. For those you don't know, it's basically you get in the plane, you fly around, you got different variety and types, but the big thing in this game is it's confirming that the team has included every single airport in the entire world. Quote, a whopping 37,000 airports will manually edited by the team for the game, making this one of the most exciting additions to the Xbox Game Studio lineup, end quote.
All right. Well, I mean, I played a little bit of Flight Simulator. I think I have a copy, but this is literally just, flying around, because, gamers of various types. You got some that like to play the first-person shooters and third-person shooters like Division and Call of Duty, and then you got people who literally just like to fly and that piece from flying, just like they do, just like fishing or any of these other simulator games, which I actually kind of like it, because while you may not be fully trained to mess with things in real, just the fact that, hey, my eyesight sucks, I can't be an actual pilot, but at least in this game I can pretend to be a pilot.
Yeah, it gives you, like you said, there's a variety of different planes you can fly, but the added aspect of the hyper realism with the fact that you can visit every single airport,
that's going to be nice, because I think a couple of previous versions had like 20,000 or 15,000. It had about half. Or a little, or 2/3. So now we got every airport. So,
and on top of that, with every airport, there's each airport is, quote, going to be boosting day to night changes, bustling and busy people, and animated ground crews.
Nice.
So,
nice.
If you go to the link from GameBite, they do have a video that goes and shows the realism that they are able to capture with this new game.
Alrighty, we'll definitely keep that. Hey, Volgraza.
Hey there. It's going to be available on Windows 10 Xbox One later.
You gotta tease me like that, man. Alright. I'll take a look at those messages later. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it.
But yeah, definitely this might be a simulator I pick up on Xbox One.
Oh yeah, I think I might give that one a shot. I think I might just try simulators myself. And hey, if there's a suggestion for a game to play on the Monday night stream, by all means, shoot that over to me in the comments or in the contact info. So can try and do that. Alrighty. Next thing, and this is kind of a continuing on from our discussion earlier about the Invisible Man, and as we were discussing Friday, it's like this is probably one of the most reproduced stories I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there are others.
There are others, but
this one seems most prevalent because I can sit here and just name a few different versions of this story that have been done in film within my lifetime.
Yeah, like I knew of a couple, but then when I looked over the show notes and saw some, I was like, I didn't even know that existed.
All right, so basically what I did is I did some searching, and for those who don't know, The Invisible Man is a story that was originally published in 1897 by the man of science fiction himself, H.G. Wells.
Yes, this is a man of many talents when it comes to sci-fi, and Invisible Man being one of them.
Yes, War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, great stories. So, the original rendition of this from 1890 that was originally published. You had a scientist whose last name was Griffin. The book never actually told you what his first name was, who was a pioneer in the world of optics and had developed a formula to give his skin the same properties as air. It neither reflects or retains light, effectively turning him invisible. And he was successful in turning himself invisible, but he was unsuccessful in turning himself back. And being somebody who had a predilection to violence, this leads into the whole horror side of this particular story.
Yeah, which the general gist is like you get a hold of this power. What kind of insanity can it drive you to do things?
Yeah, and that's where that's how we go. It's like this is the crux of this story. But further on, it's like looking at how many times this was hit on. Now, The Invisible Man is also one of the classic Universal monsters.
Yes.
With this first film being done in 1933, where Griffin was given the first name of Jack, and was played by Claude Rains. Obviously, this is black and white era, but since then we had The Invisible Man Returns in 1940, The Invisible Woman in 1940, which they are actually working on an Invisible Woman right now for 2021 or 2022. So we should hopefully we'll hear more about that later. The Invisible Agent. And then we have The Invisible Man's Revenge, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, where the Invisible Man makes an appearance at the end. Now, the nice thing about this, The Invisible Man Returns and the Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, that is actually Vincent Price who plays the Invisible Man.
That's an interesting tidbit.
It is. I thought it was kind of cool. Because, there's the Man of Horror. And let's see, we have Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man in 1951. And then probably some a little bit more modern, because we have these up to the 1950s, and then in 1992 we have one that comes to my mind pretty quickly, and that is Memoirs of an Invisible Man, where in this instance Chevy Chase is the one who plays the lead role on this.
A very comedic twist.
It is,
if I remember correctly.
And you did see an Easter egg in this Invisible Man that was a callback to Memoirs, right?
Yes. The suit and the hat.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. Now that I think about it, it's like, yeah. And then, of course, another one that comes to mind quickly for me is the 2000 the film Hollow Man in 2000 with Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people know that one off the bat because
It's a more modern film. I mean, we're talking
recent,
like 20 years.
Yeah, but
and there was a sequel, which was directed video sequel, where Christian Slater played the Invisible Man.
Oh yeah, and then you also have the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
which is one of my favorite ones because this was a graphic novel turned to a film, and it was one of those ensemble cast deals. But the twist for this one is the Invisible Man in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not Griffin. It is a thief who stumbled across the formula to make himself invisible.
Fun stuff.
So, but I felt that was a pretty fun interpretation of the character, which leads us into this one. But my thing is with this as an example, this film has been redone multiple times, or the story has been retold in multiple times. And what are some things that really kind of help with retelling the story, or that type of thing? Because it seems like when some stories can be retold multiple times and it's fresh.
Yeah.
Some stories, once were good, twice, really, 3 times, oh God, stop, please.
Oh, yeah. And this is when retellings happen, they happen in various forms. They happen for various reasons, and it's all about can you tell the story again without being too much of just a rehash of either a money grab or a designation of just just trying to just reflect upon something without actually giving it due diligence. So a lot of the reason, like when you're looking at this, the major thing is that with the remakes of not just this but of any film, a lot of times there's a general jump between the remakes, like at least a decade's worth of a jump, or at least 4 or 5 years if they're not a sequel. And doing that, whenever you see a remake, it's usually because one of the reasons is because of a generational thing. Case in point, a movie that I reviewed a while back, A Star Is Born. That was the one with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, was the 4th rendition of that movie. Mm-hmm. So it's there have been other films, but there's been gaps between it. But what makes that movie a good remake like this one is that it's a retelling with a modernization of sorts.
Okay.
So you keep the core elements, but you make it fresh for the new generation, if I could use that as the term.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely think that's. But if there's some other ones that you got, some other ones that have been seen that are really good reinterpretations of the original content, tell us more about those. I thought this was one of those that just had me thinking about how this film, the core element is a person who deals with optics.
Yes.
Very talented scientist who has some type of flaw. In the latest version, he was obsessive and controlling.
Yeah.
You have the original one. He had this tendency to violence, or was drawn to violence. In Hollow Man, it was that loss of moral compass when you realize that you were, because society has rules, and when you are in a position where those rules no longer apply, it's amazing how dark things can become.
Yeah.
And again, this is, it's like, obviously these are exaggerations, but the core elements are there. Yeah. And it's like, even so, he was a talented scientist, he was a loner, he had a lot of these various psyche, and that seems to be consistent throughout all the films. It's just sometimes the twists kind of go in there.
Oh, yeah.
But
so
that was a good discussion.
Oh yeah, just to make sure, remakes are always going to happen. It's just a matter of execution.
Yes, and this is one that's been executed a number of times. I actually want to go watch some of these classic ones. Oh
yeah, I do want to go back, like The Invisible Woman.
Yeah,
I do want to go back.
1940, Virginia Bruce as Katie Carroll, Invisible Woman. This is a comedic installment in the franchise. Carol becomes invisible after being subject to an experiment.
Yes.
Gee. Invisible Agent. John Hall stars as Frank Raymond, the Invisible Man. Raymond is the grandson of the original Invisible Man, but heroically uses the formula on himself to help the Allies during World War II.
So that has a twist of sorts.
It does. Invisible Man's Revenge, 1944. John Hall stars as Robert Griffin, Invisible Man. Griffin is a madman who seeks revenge for those who have wronged him and becomes invisible upon experimentation. Very mustache twirly there.
Ha 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 ha.
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, 1948. Vincent Price reprises his role. Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, 1951. Arthur Franz stars as Tommy Nelson, Invisible Man. Nelson is a middleweight boxer framed for the murder of a promoter. He tries to clear himself of the crime. He gets the invisibility serum from former colleague of Jack Griffin's. Claude Rains appears in a still photograph reprising the role.
Yeah.
So, I think that's cool. And as we were discussing pre-show, this version of the 2020, or the version of Invisible Man that just released, was actually originally slated to be part of Universal Pictures' Dark Universe,
which was not executed very well.
Well, yeah, it got off to a bad start, but it was nice that with the shift from an overarching connected world, it was okay. Let's do compelling individual stories instead of focusing on the interconnectedness. So,
and you see the success with this.
This one did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, I think we're good on that. So that leaves us with odds and ends.
Oddies and endies.
Alrighty. So get a little odds and ends going on there.
The odds and ends. Because
Yes.
the rabbit hole
Yes.
is big tonight.
Oh, yes, it is. Odds and Ends, collection of internet stories that we find that we're just going to read the headline, maybe a little bit of the article itself, and just react to it.
Okay.
So, here we go. First one right off the bat. Let's set the stage for you, right?
Go ahead and set it, Scuba.
You're a guy whose longtime friend, passes away and leaves you their house as an inheritance
in a historic neighborhood.
And you honoring your friend's memory, decide to go and work on scheduling and working on a renovation, only to get a call that says, "Hey, there's no house here anymore." And you go, "Wait, what?" And then you find out that in Dallas, a Texas demolition company actually tore down the wrong house.
Oh, yes.
What?
They tore down the wrong house, but there's a lot of circumstances that played into that, which kind of makes me wonder, should they even be demolition anything? So, as reported on CNN, the owner of JR Demolition, Bobby Lindemode, apologized about the incident in a press release. Quote, I, as the owner, have been in demolition over 35 years, and after many thousands of structure demolitions, this is the first incident wherein the wrong structure was demolished, end quote. And
I'm sorry. I just can't.
But I'm sorry. But
no, by all means. You're gonna sit here and tell me their excuses.
No, but I told you
that this excuse
I'm not going to
is
convince.
valid.
I'm not going to say it's valid, but it's one that made me raise my eyebrow. Like, if you're running a demolition company, these factors should have made you like, let me wait a couple days. He added, quote, that multiple factors contributed to the mistake. I wonder, people. The home did not have a house number. 1. And due to heavy rain, the curb address was covered by water and debris. 2. All right, so 2 red flags come up there.
Oh yeah, and he said it looks like other houses that are in disrepair that they've torn down before in that neighborhood. Beyond, it's like, I'm sorry, it's like it's one of those things you kind of want to make sure you got the right place, because now this is a house that the neighborhood really enjoyed. that was it, and it's gone, and it's just like
You can't replace it. Yes, you can build a structure, but it's not going to replace what was.
no, and all that because someone couldn't spend the little extra time checking out, verifying before they start knocking stuff down. Oh, you're right, Graza. You totally, yeah. I'm wondering if there is going to be a lawsuit on
There
that
is
one.
going to be a lawsuit. This is America, so people sue for wrong fries, and
Oh yeah, my coffee's hot. Duh.
when people call 911 because Burger King didn't make their burger. What else can you say?
Yeah. All right. So with that, we have a bit of sad news.
Sadness. It was sadness, people.
Yeah. For those of those of us who grew up in the golden age of video games, we're all familiar with the up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA starts.
Yes.
Is that right? Or is it A, B, A, B?
BABA.
BA start. The
Konami
infamous
codes. Cheats.
Konami code.
Yes.
That is the only way I ever got through Contra, and I know I'm not the only one who could say that.
There's probably other people out there that have used this code before. I think I'm pointing at myself, but yes.
But the creator of this infamous code has passed away recently. I cannot pronounce his name because I'm not that familiar, so I'm not going to try. But definitely kind of a bit of sad news for us nostalgic game people.
Yeah,
Go for it,
as reported on NPR, Kazusa Hashimoto, creator of this Konami code, has died. Tears, people.
Did he say natural causes?
Or
did not give a lot of detail?
It's just nope. No. Just reported that he was the creator of that code. It's used in more than 100 games, quote, such as Castlevania and Mortal Kombat 3, end quote.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The code, as you pointed out, famously gave players 30 lives in the game Contra.
It's the only way I got through that game.
And yes, R.I.P. Volgraza. That Konami code will always live in infamy as a savior for most.
Oh, Dance Dance Revolution had it? There was something I remember hearing about with BioShock Infinite, that if you use that code at the start of that one, it would activate a special game mode that would be reminiscent of those days of the 8-bit where you had very few save points and everything was just a royal pain to get through.
Oh yeah, and just to add a little chuckle to this, just to end on a high note, if players use this code in the game Gradius 3, their ship blew up. There you go. It's not always beneficial to cheat, people, especially in Konami games.
Alrighty. Well, as we celebrate the end of one life, let us celebrate another person's long life with a nice kind of feel-good story because it's leap year.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a man born on Leap Day gets the opportunity to share his 18th birthday with his granddaughter.
Oh, yes. Now, this is, for those of you who don't know, this is leap year, so that gives an extra day in February 29th. So this was a fitting article for
it
that.
is, because this gentleman who's actually 72, but it happens to be leap year, and his granddaughter's birthday was like a couple of weeks before, so this is kind of one of those nice feel-good family things that you get to share a major milestone birthday. Yeah. So it's a feel-good thing. It's like
It is really good. Like the grandfather's birthday, Bill Stoney, he was born on the 29th. His granddaughter Maya was February 15th.
So yeah, it's fun.
As reported by News 10 WHEC out of Rochester, New York. Thank you, Rochester.
Alrighty, I'm gonna skip this next one and go to the last one and come back to that one.
I like that.
Let's maneuver my little bit of info. It's like again another one of us nostalgic peeps. The Japanese superhero Ultraman is coming to the Marvel Comics.
Oh yeah, as reported on IGN, Marvel is gonna be featuring the Japanese hero Ultraman to debut later in 2020. Revealed at the Next Big Thing panel at C2E2.
Cool.
So for those fans of, of this.
Yeah, Ultraman is like the kaiju battle. Most recently, in my memory, is reading the book Ready Player One, where there's definitely some moments where the character utilized that because of all that various pop culture reference of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
So this was good.
And it's going to be called The Rise of Ultraman. Look for it sometime this year.
Alrighty, and this brings us to our last story, which, you know what, it's fun because...
Boom!
Baby Yoda.
Right there, people.
The Baby Yoda craze has gone so far and so fast. Now, what I've seen on the Airsoft, on Ballahack for weeks now, is when we do the Chaos games, or any kind of game where there's a challenge and reply, at some point a team picks Baby Yoda. And sometimes Baby Yoda doesn't last. Other times Baby Yoda will last all the way to the end. Well, now Baby Yoda has been given, the name Baby Yoda has been given to a tank. So I think it's going to last.
Oh, yeah. And, yep, it is. And if you look on there, people, you can see a picture.
This picture was from the U.S. Army Twitter feed where they have Baby Yoda on the barrel of a tank. Saladin, I hope you're happy.
There you go. Ready to shoot out and take out the world.
Oh, no. At least take out the bad guys.
Force be with you. Well, not the bad guys, just us. America.
Oh, so many good things. So
Greatness.
many great things.
Bam, bam, bam.
Well, I think with
Bam,
that,
bam, bam.
we're pretty much good for the night.
Yeah.
So,
hit it up. Done it all.
Yeah, let's get up our contact info so people know where to find us.
You can check us out everywhere and anywhere. Right there, people.
Oh, yeah. Check us out, Twitter, Instagram. If you like the show, want to support the show, consider becoming our Patreon through patreon.com/Scuba Studio. Patrons get early access to video content that's posted, as well as access to a special section of our Discord server, to where when we do our Patreon chat, you can join that chat and interact with us. So definitely that. If you want to email us some topic suggestions or feedback, by all means, go to scubastudio@gmail.com. Anything else contact-wise?
Find me on Instagram at IncubusTrav. Send a friend request. Boom.
Yep, you can find me at ScubaCod. Oh, yes! Social opportunity. Division 2. I got to the point where I could make a clan, and I made a clan for Scuba Studio. So if you're playing Division 2 on Xbox, and you're looking for a clan, look for the clan with the tag SCS.
Join today.
So, with that, I think we will go ahead and transition over to Patreon and kind of chill out and hang out. So,
all right. Peace.
Oh, yeah.